Yo, yo, yo. This is your man Red Planet 32 doing it live in 3D, live from the Motor City. If you will, everybody flash your lights in solidarity to the crypto tonight. Let me stop. Hey, listen, I hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend. There's some technical difficulties going on here on our end. No worries. We'll be back up and live with some new content for you guys here real soon. But in the meantime, we want to not leave you comfortless, but we want to leave you with something, a taste, because of so many that tune in on a Friday night to make it all right, as long as we got crypto in our lives. So we're going to watch some past shows together. Hey, listen, if you're out there, we love your donations. Donations always welcome. Sow a seed into the Your Crypto Daily hour on a Friday night so we can get this 24-hour content mothership off the ground and make everybody happy. But in the meantime, hey, enjoy a couple shows, a few shows from the time past. Drop a comment, make a like, make a friend, sing a song, hold hands, and we're going to give you some blasts from the past, if you will. Hope that you guys are doing it all right. Talk to you here real soon. Peace, and enjoy the show.
Many coin developers require extensive infrastructure to maintain day-to-day operations, while hobbyists, investors, and traders require coin developers to do this securely and professionally. We are Spectre Security Coin, building a new kind of decentralized community.
It's that time again, your crypto daily time. So grab a seat, get some coffee, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And now here's your hosts, Red Planet 32 and Johnny Boy Crypto.
Hello, wonderful world of cryptocurrency. This is your good buddy Red Planet 32. We're doing it here live in living color. Hope everybody's doing great. Yes, the millions and the millions. Yes, thank you. I'm here with you, and my co-host Johnny Boy Crypto lurking around in the shadows of the night on some abandoned road, doing great services and great joys for the rest of the country. Hey, listen, I hope everybody's had a fantastic weekend or a fantastic week thus far. Mine has been interesting, to say the least. And but hey, at the end of the day, we are here. Tonight, we have a special show lined up for you. We have our special guest, none other than Factom Protocol. So super excited about tonight. So hold on to your seatbelts, everyone, boys and girls. It's the Your Crypto Daily Show live. Hey, listen, of course, this show has been brought to you by X42. Open, feeless, infinite. Spectre Security Coin, helping build a better, safer blockchain technology. Shout out to our new community partners, Leisure Coin. You guys can check them out at leisurecoin.org. Then we got the Fearless Boss team that is just...
You guys check out the Your Crypto Daily server. There's links to over 50 projects, news updates. The Fort Knox server, there's tons of projects in there, bots that just do rains. You get a whole bunch of free coins in there. Throat Punch Coin, they do a bunch of rains. There's Rockin' Rains. That's just a whole bunch of cool stuff going on there. Really cool news. Coinstar apparently selling Bitcoin now.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, so you can cash in some coins and get some Bitcoin.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
And
man.
then of course the latest news, the Cryptopia hacked. It's crazy.
Yeah, Cryptopia hack, and then there's some other stuff coming down the line. I was hoping that Digi would be on with us tonight. Maybe he'll chime in a little bit later on with us, talking about the whole Crex 24 scenario that's going on too. That's interesting stuff. I was reading an interesting article here in Cointelegraph here. Crypto analysis Brian Kelly says no shot for Bitcoin ETF in 2019. What a bummer. But you know, at the end of the day, man, the scams have to stop. They have to stop. They have to stop. They have to cease. And but hey, you know what? Tonight is not about the negativity. Tonight is about focusing on some positivity, right? And we have a wonderful guest on here with us, none other than Mr. David Chapman from the Factum Protocol. We got Factum Protocol live, boys and girls. Factum Protocol live. Yes.
Hey, gentlemen, appreciate you having me on tonight.
Yes. This is live Q&A with these guys tonight. So if you have your questions, hold on to your wits. We're going to learn a little bit about this company. We had them on for a short period of time the other few weeks ago, and now we have them all to themselves. And and so we're gonna go dig deep into them tonight and learn a little bit more of an overview about their company, and then hopefully learn a little bit more about what's to come. Let's give some recognition there to those people who are joining us on chat tonight. Keep in mind, make sure you guys check out yourcryptodaily.com. Make sure that you check us out there. Check us out on the YouTube channel, Your Crypto Daily YouTube channel. Periscope TV, we're broadcasting live from there right now. Johnny Boy Crypto Station, broadcasting live from there. And heads up, you guys, Your Crypto Daily's got their own application that you'll be able to download right to your phone from the Google Play Store and from the iPhone Apple Store real soon. So stay tuned for that. We're forever expanding our radius of reaching more people, and we thank you guys all for your support. For those who tune in.
How much is that? How much is that app? How much is that app going to cost, Rick?
I don't know. I didn't know I was going to discuss it online with people. But doesn't matter, long as we can get it out to the people. And
free? Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we just want to get it out to the people. Oh, well, to them it's going to cost them nothing. It'll be a free app they can download.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
I thought you meant like how much does it cost to build it?
No, man. If I want to download it, how much do I have to pay?
It's gonna be free. It's gonna be free. Obviously, we got to go through some protocols with Apple iTunes Store to make sure they give us clearance on it, and then of course we have we got to get through the Google Play Store to make sure they clear it and it doesn't have any viruses or anything like that. But hey, listen, ready or not, here it comes. Your crypto's coming for you, man. It's a lot of joint ventures we got going on right now, and I'm really excited about. But we got Mr. David Chapman on with us tonight, and I'm super excited about it. Hope that you're doing well, David. We thank you for taking out the time with us on tonight. Thank you for joining us once again. How's your week going for you so far?
Well, I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and my wife has been working a lot lately, so if I come across as not being as sane as one might expect, that's the reason why. But other than that, life is fantastic. So I appreciate the opportunity to come on here and speak about the amazing protocol, the Factum protocol that I've been working on for a while now, with a ton of additional really intelligent people that are doing exciting things.
That's awesome stuff.
Hopefully going to be making a real difference in the world here pretty soon.
Oh man, so let's talk about it. So just for those who were not able to join us the last time around, when you guys are on, I think you guys came on like a fly-by-night moment. We were talking about your coin some way, somehow, and then you like joined on, and Johnny did one of his things. He ambushes people on live on like Twitter and such. So But that's kind of how the show got started, crashing parties, crashing weddings. And that's what we do. I guess that's what we do best. So just give us a general overview what you guys are all about and
Sure.
what it means for the rest of the crypto world.
Sure. The first thing I need to clarify is that I don't represent the Factom protocol.
Okay.
That would be like me saying that I represent TCP/IP or the World Wide Web or the file transfer protocol or something like that. The Factom protocol is a protocol at this point. It's one of the most decentralized blockchain projects in existence, in my opinion. And who I am is I'm CEO of Factomize. And Factomize is one of the 25 companies. There's a coalition of companies that are building and furthering the Factom protocol. And I was lucky enough to manage to get my company elected to be one of those initial authority node operators. And we provide the infrastructure that decentralizes the protocol. And we're also incentivized to further it in whatever means we choose. Until recently, my company was building a lot of the solutions for governance for the protocol. We just recently transitioned into doing core development because we made a lot of progress on the governance side of things, and we felt that we could benefit the protocol there. So the background on the protocol is it was conceptualized by some brilliant people by the names of Paul Snow, Brian Deary, David Johnston way back in 2014. It's pretty old when it comes to cryptocurrency.
Wow, yeah, that sounds like you guys have been doing this or been involved for a little bit of time then.
Yep, I wasn't involved with them. I came in not too long after the ICO, and it was actually one of the first ICOs ever conducted way back in 2015. And the company that started the Factom protocol is Factom Inc.
Okay.
And the protocol went through a series of milestones. Milestone 1, which was basically the late alpha, early beta, where it was simply on one server controlled by Factom Inc. Then milestone 2 came not long after that, and that's where the peering came in, the P2P network, where there were 8 servers, but they were all still controlled by Factom Inc.
Okay.
And development continued until about April of 2018, and that's when Factom Inc. realized, with the help of some community members such as Tor Paulson, who's now one of the guides, that the protocol was ready to become decentralized. It was ready to hit the big time. And that's when us authority node operators came in, because we went from those 8 centralized servers controlled by Factom Inc. to now there's 25 authority node operators as of today. And each authority node operator operates 2 servers. Eventually, there's going to be at least 65 of these companies around the world that are decentralizing the infrastructure. And it's been an interesting journey because we're so decentralized at this point that it's actually been difficult to deal with exchanges and a host of entities that are used to dealing with centralized projects.
Okay.
We've had to form exchange committees and marketing committees and legal working groups, and all the while ensure that we remain and continue to decentralize. As I'm sure you gentlemen know, when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's critically important that you're decentralized. In my opinion, most projects are still quite centralized. And in many cases, that means, especially in the United States, that they're probably securities. Whereas William Hinman of the SEC, when he gave that famous speech where he talked about how Ethereum is probably no longer a security because they're sufficiently decentralized, if you go by that guidance, then it's critically important that that you work towards decentralization in your project. But that's not just. Sorry if I'm rambling on here. By all means,
No. You're just giving us
interrupt me at any time.
No, you're giving us the bones of everything. That's cool.
Yeah. So when people think decentralization, though, I think most think infrastructure, your servers.
Right.
But it's got to be more than that. If you have decentralized infrastructure, but your governance is still centralized, if everything is dictated by a central authority, you're not decentralized. So your governance has to be decentralized. And then even if your governance and your infrastructure is decentralized, but you have a single party doing your development, you're still centralized. So in our opinion, you have to have decentralized governance, you have to have decentralized infrastructure, and you have to have decentralized development. Otherwise, in the case of many of these projects, you're probably a security. And the Factom protocol at this point is decentralized in development, we're decentralized in governance, we're decentralized in infrastructure. There's absolutely room for improvement, and that's going to continue to happen. But I again assert that we're one of the most decentralized projects that there is.
Wow. Well, that's awesome stuff. So what does that mean? I mean, just to kind of sum it up in a sense, I want to read this from your, well, I had your website up here. Where did you go?
Are you going to factomprotocol.org?
Yeah, I just had it up here.
So factomprotocol.org is another movement in the direction of decentralization, because we needed to create an information website that wasn't controlled by a single entity.
Okay.
So what we've done is we've come together and we've created factomprotocol.org, and we're going to, in the not too distant future, be forming a nonprofit company in the state of Wyoming because of their outstanding progressive cryptocurrency legislation that they're adopting on a regular basis. So we're going to be forming a nonprofit there, and that website is going to come under control of that nonprofit. And we're going to craft the bylaws in a manner where no single entity even controls the website.
And that's awesome. So you guys are going to have content there also that's going to be for the people, by the people.
That's it.
Man. So what's going to make this different from like content providers of companies like Steam and Medium? I guess they're supposed to be decentralized. Content providers, Library. What's it called? Library something.com. What's
the decentralized YouTube?
Yeah, then you got DTube, then you got BitTube. So what's gonna make you guys different from those other companies that are out there?
So at its heart, the Factom protocol is a data integrity layer.
Okay.
And by data integrity, let me give an example.
Please do.
Are you guys familiar with the Panama Papers, that huge leak of data out of Panama where it was shown that all the rich people around the world were doing all kinds of interesting stuff with their financials, and lawyers were backdating, changing documents on a regular basis, backdating them for the benefit of people, stuff like that. Are you familiar with that?
No, I can't say I'm too familiar with that, but educate us, please.
Sure. Well, basically, there was this gigantic leak of data, and it showed a myriad of extremely fraudulent and unethical and criminal behavior by all kinds of powerful entities and people around the world. And one of the big things that came out was there were these law firms that literally were backdating, were changing documents on such a regular basis that they had a set fee for it.
Wow.
Something where, hey, you know what, I need this document changed because for whatever reason, and they just pay this law firm to change the document, backdate it, change something about it. So it could be like if you're living in an apartment and the rental company wanted to say that you were supposed to be paying $200 more per month, they just go to their attorney and say, hey, this is what the person signed. Can we change this up to show that it was worth the extra couple $100 a month, so that they have to pay extra in rent? So that's an example of countless data integrity problems we have, where we really can't trust the data that we have. because it's so easily changed. When you have centralized systems, whether they're documents or databases, it's easy to alter the data. And that can be by a hacker or with someone with access to that database.
Mm-hmm.
Or, for example, you may have heard about deepfakes. And what deepfakes are is this is the technology that's pretty much here and is only going to become more advanced with time. And that's video technology, where I can take a video or alter a video of, say, President Trump or some powerful person and make it look in real time like it is, like they're saying something different. Or I can alter the audio that you guys are putting out in a way that has you threatening someone or engaging in some criminal behavior. Basically, the data, where the world is heading is we're not going to be able to trust any of our data. Video, pictures, documents, anything, because the technology that we have allows us to alter it so easily. It's literally very quickly becoming a matter of national security for countries.
Man, hold on. Let's pause for the cause, can we? You mean to tell me that what I'm seeing on TV sometimes can be changed at any given moment, or a live event could be digitally altered in the twinkling of an eye?
Absolutely. I have no doubt that security agencies have that technology, and it's going to be mainstream before long. You know, it's hard to grasp that, but if you think about 20, 30 years back, the idea of altering a photograph would have been unheard of. And now you can just fire up Photoshop and it's a piece of cake. This technology is absolutely coming. If you search for deep fakes, it's not conspiratorial. It is a very real pressing problem that's heading our way.
Johnny Boy Crypto, where you at now?
Hey, yeah, so that's like there was talk back about artificial intelligence being able to like create, live events like the Sandy Hook shooting, or I'm just using an example, like earthquakes or whatever it is, like crazy events that happen, and but you're saying that stuff like that can happen.
Absolutely. This technology is coming. It is going to be here, and we have to be proactive. And altering of documents happens on a daily basis. Anything where you worry about the integrity of the data that you provide, that's being provided to you, that's something that the Factom protocol can solve. Now, we don't store your video, we don't store your picture, we don't store the document. But what transpires is if you want to if you want to be able to validate this data is true, what you do is you put that document through a hashing function and you create a hash. And it's simply a mathematical function that creates a digital fingerprint of that document. And if you were to alter a single character on that document, whether that be a period, whether that be a single letter or something more, and you ran it through that function again, it would no longer match that digital fingerprint. So what you can do is you can take that document, you can hash it, you can add that hash to the Factom protocol, and then you can prove to anyone in the future that this is a valid document. This was created at this time. It has not been altered since this time. And you'll be able to do that with anything from videos to pictures to documents, whatever you want. For example,
about hologram technology.
Any kind of data will be able to. Now, some of it you're going to have to do at the hardware level. The earlier you get at the production, the more you're going to be able to trust the data.
So let me get this straight from you one more time. I don't mean to interrupt you guys by any means. This is called deep faking, is what you're calling it, right?
That's just one of the issues that the Factom protocol will be able to solve in the future. Deep fakes are only one of a myriad of data integrity problems that the world faces.
That's insane, man. Go ahead, Johnny. What questions did you have for him? My apologies, guys.
But if you were to look at, let me give an example here, an additional example. If you were to look at my company's forum at factomize.com/forums, this is the discussion forum for the Factom protocol. And every single thread that's created on that forum, we create a chain for it on the Factom protocol. And then every single post within that thread gets an entry within the Factom protocol. And every single edit of any post gets an entry in that chain on the Factom protocol. So what this allows you to do is prove that those posts have not been altered, or prove that they have. For example, if you were a member of that forum, I, as an administrator, because I have access to the database, I could go in after you posted something completely innocuous and I could edit it in a manner where it says something that could be career ending for you if other people actually believed it. Or it could land you in jail. It could do any number of things, and it wasn't what you actually wrote. But if enough people believe it is, and you can't prove otherwise, you have a serious problem. But because
this is absurd, man.
But because every single post is validated by the Factom protocol, you can prove, yes, I wrote that, or you can prove, no, I didn't.
Hashtag truth is stranger than fiction.
Man, this is absurd. Hey, listen, real quick, I want to give a shout out to, I saw my girl was here. Mr. Chapman, last week we had an insane show. And we had Barack Obama's half-sister on the show last week.
Right on.
Yeah, it was absolutely bonkers. And shout out there to the Zodiac herself. And where we go. Shout out to Fearless Girl Boss and her team. Matthew Hunter, what's up, man? Kagiro Mira, what's up, man? Zodiac Obama Forger, Nancy Ruth Owens, what is up with you? Yes, thank you guys for tuning in on tonight. Somebody's mentioned in Genesis. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, she knows about the Panama Papers. Hey, Miss Owens, when you get a second, if you want to tune into the call, we'll post a link. Johnny, are you able to post a phone number for those that call in on tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep,
Mr. Chapman, please continue.
Yeah. So we're getting to the
Jeremy
point where can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
So the need for a global data integrity layer is critical. There's few, once they understand the problem, that will argue against the need for a global utility that solves the data integrity problem. And the Factom protocol is really the only blockchain project that's working to resolve this issue. And the design of it is such that we have a very real chance of becoming the global data integrity protocol. And if that happens, things are going to get real. But it's so brilliantly designed. Paul Snow, Brian Deary, the genius behind the design of this protocol, it's it's second to none in its design for these specific tasks. It's what we call a pure data protocol. Your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, they're computational in nature, whereas the Factom protocol is pure data. And that makes it far easier to scale, for example, through sharding, but it also allows a lot of very interesting things to be done by developers. For example, some brilliant developers that are at an authority node operator called DBGrow have created what's called the FAT protocol, FAT, the FAT protocol on top of the Factom protocol. And really it's pretty integrated because it uses the entry credit system that's part of the Factom protocol. And the FAT protocol is a tokenization protocol, in some ways similar to Ethereum's tokenization. But the FAT protocol allows tokenization at upwards of 100 times cheaper than the Ethereum protocol, and it's far more flexible. And this will be coming very soon. It's also going to enable smart contracts. And it's all due to the brilliant design of the Factom protocol that we're allowed to have new solutions built on top of it. And this is just the beginning. There's very brilliant people working on a host of new solutions for the Factom protocol. And as I said earlier, there's a very real chance that we're going to end up as the global data integrity layer. And unlike many projects where they're searching for a problem, they might have a neat little technical innovation. The Factom protocol solves a problem that is global in nature.
Man, so you guys are going to be more than likely just the go-to team at the end of the day when it comes down to just stuff being kept real, or as they say in slang, kept 100, right? For those that are out there. You guys are going to be the enforcers of content online.
No, absolutely not. The Factom protocol is censorship resistant. You can go right now and you can put whatever you want into the Factom protocol, as long as you're willing to pay the entry credits. I worry that any entity tries to be any sort of censor or enforcer.
Okay, awesome.
What we aim to be is the data integrity layer. When you create content, we're able to prove provenance. We're able to show, hey, you know what? This digital identity is tied to this piece of content which they created at this time, and it has not changed since this time. Or if it did change, here's the new change which their digital identity signed off on. Or the digital identities are a critical component of the Factom protocol as well. So let's say that you create a video at a time where deepfake technology is prevalent. Okay, Red Planet 32, his digital identity from his camera that is connected to his digital identity created this video at this time, and this hash shows that at this point minute it was not altered. This hash shows it was not altered. Okay, you know what? We can trust this video is from Red Planet and it has not been altered.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Go ahead, Johnny.
All right. That makes more sense now.
Yep, it does.
Okay. Starting to click with me. I'm a little slow, but
I probably just need to be more practiced and nuanced at explaining it. I apologize.
No, you're good, man. That's awesome stuff. Johnny, what'd you get from that? If you want to break it down for those that are out there, I like the way you deliver it.
Basically, it's kind of like it's just like a blockchain, I guess. If it senses a fork in the video and audio, it's going to detect it and say, hey, this is altered. Am I right? Or
fork's an interesting way to put it, but yeah, if it's altered, I suspect that in the future there will be technology that is constantly checking the Factom protocol to see if it's been altered and will set some sort of alarm or whatever methodology is employed to say, yep, there's something wrong. This data can no longer be trusted.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd be like a timestamp, just like a fork would. When the forks happen, it's pretty much timestamped.
Sure. Or one thing that the Factom protocol can also do is prove the negative. So it's when everyone is, or when a company is putting all their data, when they're validating all their data, if something is missing all of a sudden, knowing that something was supposed to be there but isn't is also very valuable.
That makes sense. Wow. So it's just basically going to rule out all fraudulent activity live online, or any sort of any sort of altering done to any data or content that's out there. It's just kind of pretty much red flagging, like, hey, watch out.
Well, we've got VR and AR and you know, hologram and whatever else Project Bluebeam stuff coming into the future too. So
yes, Project Bluebeam.
So Factimize will be able to detect that kind of alterations too.
Yeah, man, that's a whole nother conversation. I think we're going to talk about that next week, Project Bluebeam. That's important that we talk about that. But hey, because that, you know, man, QFatB, thanks for watching the show. Brandon, what's up to you, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm glad to know that you still breathe. If you guys are out there, you want to call into the show, the number has been listed. I believe it's a 646-558-8656. 646-558-8656. Call in, man. Call in. Ruth Owens, Nancy Ruth Owens, talk to us tonight. How do you feel? You guys got questions. Jeremy Lee, what's up to you, man? You guys got questions. This is a good time to ask.
What was the extension on that? The extension number for the call?
Extension number, then going to hit pound, then 922-812-8043. So the number 646-558-8656. Then hit that pound button, dialing 922-812-8043 if you're out there. All right, please. So, I mean, what are you thinking, though, time frame there, wise, Mr. Chapman? And we're going to take a break here. You know what? It's a good time to take a break right now. Let's, as you gather your thoughts on it, let's take a small break and hear from one of our sponsors on tonight.
Many coin developers require extensive infrastructure to maintain day-to-day operations, while hobbyists, investors, and traders require coin developers to do this securely and professionally. We are Spectre Security Coin, building a new kind of decentralized community.
All right, and we're back, everyone. We are back. Hey, listen. I hope that you guys are great. Thank you. The chat, we thank you guys for watching on tonight, number one. We appreciate your support. Those who join us every week, let's just try to keep it positive in the chat and keep things right, man. But let's talk about this deep fake, though, right? And so we're looking at the deep fake, and I'm looking on Wikipedia right now at all right. Deep learning and fake is an artificial intelligence-based human image synthesis technique. It is used to combine and superimpose existing images and videos onto source images or videos using a machine learning technique called a generative adversarial network, also known as GAN. The combination of existing and source videos results in a fake video that shows a person or persons performing an action at an event that never occurred in reality. This sounds like along the same lines as that, works hand in hand with that Mandela effect that Miss Nancy Ruth Owens was talking about last week and that Johnny Boy talks about quite often. It says such fake videos can be created to, for example, show a person performing sexual acts they never took part in, or can be used to alter words or gestures a politician uses to make it look like that person said something they never did. Because of these capabilities, deepfakes may be used to create fake celebrity pornographic videos or revenge porn. And deepfakes can also be used to create fake news and malicious hoaxes. Now, God, here we go, man. We're going down that freaking conspiracy rabbit hole. But, you know, this is where conspiracy meets reality.
But let's not talk conspiracy here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is all factual stuff we're talking about tonight.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I don't want
10 years ago, you know, when the technology wasn't necessarily there 10 years ago, and I started bringing this up, you could throw conspiracy out. But, you know, this is here, and it's going to become more prevalent to the point where the 12-year-old next door is going to be able to start up not just Photoshop, but his deep fake video creation system, and because you looked at him wrong, or you got in a fight with the little 12-year-old next door for whatever reason, he creates some nasty video, and he's so good at it that you have no way to prove it's not real. And next thing you know, it's going viral, and your boss sees it, your loved ones see it. You know, if we don't come up with solutions for this, literally we're not going to be able to trust anything we see or hear. And that is civilization destroying, if you would really want to get down to it. If you can't trust anything you see or hear, you have very serious problems.
Yeah, it sounds like that. That would not be good. I mean, if everybody is just, I mean, if everybody's in danger, I was just thinking about that. QFatB, thank you. I was just thinking about that. The Running Man movie, kind of like did a whole alteration on the reality of what was going on when Arnold Schwarzenegger and those guys really won the show on Running Man. All of a sudden, my man that was behind the scenes, that was running the game show, changed it digitally on the screen so so it can look like they lost and they died, and people start cheering, all for ratings. So that you're pretty much saying, Mr. Chapman, that's what that is. That's what deepfaking is. It's just to really change and gut everything.
It can be whatever you dream up, really.
Man,
I mean, it's a problem. If you're, let me take a step back here.
Yeah, go ahead, take us.
Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to jump on the call real quick. Didn't want to interrupt you guys, but I thought this was interesting.
Oh yeah. Miss Ruth Owens, keep on trying to call in. Hey, listen, if you guys are trying to call in, keep trying to get in. I guess everyone's all trying to call in at one time or something. I don't know what's going on, but sometimes Zoom gets a little weird. Keep calling in, please.
Yeah, so David, I had a question about the Factoring Protocol. Just kind of backtrack a little bit, if you could.
Sure, please.
Yeah, so how is this going to work? Like, is it so these transactions on the blocks? It's going to be different than just like, say, what I was talking about in the chat is like blockchain is moving away from just financial transactions, and you're saying that Factoring Protocol will be able to, like, say, provide a hashtag for documents, for videos, for all this other kind of stuff. How will those relay, like, say, onto a block explorer? Would you just find that how would that work?
Sure, the outstanding question. So the token for the Factoring Protocol is the factoid. FCT is the ticker symbol. And the Factoring Protocol is actually a 2-token system, And the second token is called entry credits. The entry credits are not market traded. You cannot trade them to someone else. And they have a set price of 1/1000th of a cent each. And the way that you get those entry credits is you actually burn factoids. Now, when
are these tokens numbered?
They're not. No, they're
okay. So it's not like you would identify a specific token to a specific hashtag or something, or a specific tax ID.
But I'll show you that in just a minute. So the factoid, and when I first, way back in 2015, learned about the Factom protocol and was talking with Paul Snow, he explained that the Factom protocol is not a currency. Or I'm sorry, the factoid is not a currency. And that really bothered me because I wanted to invest in currencies. You know, I invested in Bitcoin way back in 2011 and Dash when it was Darkcoin when it first came out. I was interested in these currencies, and what's interesting about a token that's not used as a currency? And it took me quite a while to get it.
Yeah, so is it kind of like a crypto search engine almost? Blockchain?
No. So the value of the factoid will go up in value the more that the protocol is used. To enter data into the Factom protocol, you have to burn the factoid in order to get entry credits. And a single entry credit allows you to enter up to 1 kilobyte of data into the Factom protocol. Now, if you go to explore.factom.com, this is one of the 2 explorers for the Factom protocol. And this is showing the entries that are entered into the Factom protocol. And what happens is, whenever you want to secure some piece of data, like the posts that are on my forum at factomize.com/forums, in the background, you have software that burns these Factom, the factoids for entry credits. And then without ever having to touch the cryptocurrency, the software automatically will automatically enter the hash of that data into the Factom protocol. And then every 10 minutes, that is actually put into the Bitcoin blockchain. And
so everything is kind of like itemized and categorized and put into the blockchain.
That's correct. And it's however you design it as a developer.
No, you guys were talking about deep fakes and like Photoshop and all that kind of stuff. Are you guys thinking that in some term that people would start using this as like a means of identification?
Absolutely. There's an identity component to the Factom protocol, which will be released quite soon, in fact. But how it's entered into the Factom protocol is up to each developer. For example, the way we designed it for my forum is because the Factom protocol is a whole bunch of chains within the blockchain. Every time a new thread is created on the forum, we create a new chain in the Factom protocol.
Now, and you're saying, like, would it be possible for a Factom to increase in value based on the amount of entry that it has in it?
It will, because in order to enter data into the Factom blockchain, you have to burn factoids. So if at some point, so right now, 73,000 new factoids are created per month, and those are distributed to the authority node operators, like my company. And that helps us pay our bills to decentralize the protocol by providing the infrastructure, by providing the servers necessary to decentralize it. If enough entries are going into the Factom protocol where sufficient factoids are being burnt, you would actually end up with deflation at some point, which would result in eventually you not having any factoids to utilize. So that'll never happen, is what we speculate. So the more that the Factom protocol is used, the more factoids are burnt, the more entry credits are utilized, the more the value of the factoid will have to go up, because the
value of information putting on the blockchain is going to go up, because there's only a limited amount of information that can be put out.
Yes, but that's not actually the mechanism. So,
well, I mean, if you think about like when we get around global adoption, and you're talking about people able to use Photoshop, you know, from their home computer, that's, you know, how many different computers are there in, you know, homes across the entire world,
right.
You know, and how many different phones are becoming powerful enough to be a computer, you know. So at some point, there's going to be, once this is adopted, people are going to be trying to influx into this information.
Absolutely. There's going to be massive amounts of entries into the Factom protocol if it becomes the global data integrity layer. But what I need
it almost becomes a part of history.
What I need to articulate is, so entry credits, which allow you to put data into the Factom protocol, are at a fixed price of 1/1000th of a cent each. So if the factoid is worth $1 and you burn it, you get 1,000 entry credits. If the factoid is worth $10 and you burn it, you get 10,000 entry credits. And what this does is this allows companies and governments, I should say, to effectively budget for the use of the Factom protocol. So if you were to use, say, Bitcoin to price yourself, to say, you know, it costs 0.001 Bitcoin per entry. Because of the volatility of most cryptocurrency, there's no way that governments and there's no way that companies could effectively budget. So they're just not going to take part. But the two-token system for the Factom protocol allows them to effectively budget because of the fixed price of the entry credit. It's the price of the factoid that changes. But the more
can you buy factoid the same as you can buy a Bitcoin in Satoshi value?
Yep, absolutely. It's the factoid is on Poloniex, it's on Bittrex, it's on some smaller exchanges as well.
So like, even say, for example, if you're a company and you have like, say, 1,000 articles you want to publish, well, then you could purchase one factoid and then 1,000 articles. But if you're a single person and you only want to publish 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, you could purchase a fraction of that and then still be able to publish that information.
You could, but the way that the Factom protocol is designed with the two-token system, most of those people will never actually hold the cryptocurrency. Because of the fixed price, what is going to come about, and already has, is they'll utilize subscription systems. So most companies and governments, they do not want to hold cryptocurrency. Most people have no interest in holding cryptocurrencies. What you're going to be able to do, what developers will do, is they'll bake in a subscription model into their applications where you use your credit card and you get that 1,000 entries per month, or for another tier level, you get 10,000 entries per month, or you can buy 100,000 entries per month. And because of the fixed price, that service provider is going to be burning the factoids for you at a little bit of a markup so that they make a profit, and you never have to hold the underlying cryptocurrency. In order for us,
cryptocurrency, you know, a lot of people, they want to become their own entity. So why would they be paying a service provider to hold their currency for them? I mean, I'm talking about like from the individual standpoint instead of like from the
corporate. So you absolutely can. You know, we have hardware wallet integration, we have paper wallets. You can hold your private key and you can hold your factoids, no problem. If that's the way you want to roll, you absolutely can. However, most companies, so let's take a big step back here. And if we're going to become a global data integrity layer, you know, so you have TCP/IP, which in essence runs the internet, right? If you had to buy Bitcoin every time you wanted to use the internet, you know, send some packets of data along the internet, it would not be efficient. But if you're willing to pay your ISP $80 a month to use the internet, you're in, right? And that's basically the model for the internet is you pay your ISP a certain amount of money and they pay all the infrastructure, downstream infrastructure providers to make sure that the internet's functional.
But what's interesting about
let me finish here, please.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Let them finish, please.
In order for us to have a global data integrity layer, it has to be seamless behind the scenes. Just as you're only going to be paying your ISP for internet access, your companies and governments and the end user, they're not going to want to hold and deal with this cryptocurrency. They're just going to want to know that their data is valid, that their data can be trusted, that they can trust the data from everyone else. They want it to happen seamlessly in the background. And the two-token system of the Factom protocol enables exactly that to happen. And that's one of the huge mistakes that most blockchain projects are making is they're thinking, people are going to want to hold my cryptocurrency. That's nonsense. People are not going to want to deal with 10,000 different cryptocurrencies. They're going to want it to be like the internet where they pay $80 a month and it does it for them so that they don't have to deal with all the nonsense. They just want to know that they can trust the data. And the vision I have is whether you're paying your ISP an extra $5 a month or whatever to know that this data is trustworthy, or you're going through some blockchain as a service provider, that's the only way we can truly have a data integrity layer is it happens seamlessly in the background.
That's awesome stuff. Well, hey, Mr. Chapman, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight and hanging out with us. And I hope everyone's questions were answered to the best of his ability to provide those answers to you. And I hope that you guys were informed of tonight. Once again, Mr. David Chapman there from you said Factomize, right?
Yep.
The section that you handle? Cool. Is there a website for that? We can make sure we post online.
My website is factomize.com, but the front of it we really don't do anything with. The forums at factomize.com/forums are where a lot of the conversation for the Factom protocol takes place.
Awesome.
And then factomprotocol.org is the website for the actual protocol that represents all the entities involved.
Cool stuff. Hey, man, we know you're a busy man. You got the family in the background, doing your thing, multitasking, man. You're a bad.
Yeah, I apologize. I was getting pretty distracted there with some stuff.
No, hey, man, that's real life. That lets you know that you're human, that you're not like some false AI, artificial intelligence, talking to us on tonight. So.
Yeah, you're not a deep fake yet.
Yeah, you're not a deep yeah, deep fake, baby. Looks like Miss Ruth Ann Owens is on the line. We're going to talk with her in a little bit of time, see if she got any update information for us. On the show, but hey, we give you much kudos. Thanks for joining the show on tonight. Chewbacca says thank you. Yes, and hey man, anytime you guys feel like coming on and sharing some more information with us on another day, another time, hey, do so. And
thanks, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
It's all good, man. Let's we thank you for joining us on tonight. Let's everybody give that man a hand.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for being around and answering those questions, man.
Yes.
If you guys have more questions, by all means, join us on the Factomize forums. The community is more than happy to answer anything you have.
That's awesome stuff, man. Hey, factomprotocol.org. Awesome stuff. Hey, have a wonderful week, man, and enjoy yourself. You guys, make sure you join us. Make sure you share, like, make a comment at the bottom. If you hate us, let us know. If you love us, let us know that too in the comment section below. Make sure you guys share this video with your friends and family. Keeps us going. Check us out, Your Crypto Daily Protocol. Your Crypto Daily Protocol, okay. Your Crypto Daily Podcast. You can catch us on all the major podcasts. Castbox, I believe it's what it's called. You got the Apple iTunes Store, Google Podcasts, so on and so on. All the major ones were on there. Be on the lookout for the YourCryptoDaily.com mobile app, where you can you can have it right there at your phones, your fingertips, free. It won't cost you anything to download it. It'll be a free application. Coming soon to a Google App Store, or Google Play Store, and a iPhone App Store near you. And thanks, Big B, for hanging out with us on tonight. And we're going to take a small break here, and then we're going to bring on Miss Nancy Miss Owens, yes. I want to say the whole name because it sounds cool when you say it all together, right? And then we'll talk with her briefly, and then we'll be signing off for the night. Stand by.
Many coin developers require extensive infrastructure to maintain day-to-day operations, while hobbyists, investors, and traders require coin developers to do this securely and professionally. We are Spectre Security Coin, building a new kind of decentralized community. Many coin developers require extensive infrastructure to maintain day-to-day operations, while hobbyists, investors, and traders require coin developers to do this securely and professionally. We are Spectre Security Coin, building a new kind of decentralized community.
What's up? What up? What's going on, everybody? We're back, man. Hey, listen, the funk is real. We about to get funky tonight. This is the after hours show. And I didn't think so. You know, when you got a lot going on in love and you you want to just like, you know, lose your mind a little bit, right? And that's where we're at. So we are here live in living color doing it in 3D. As you can see on your screen, what it is we're going to be talking about tonight, the after hours show. Don't get me wrong, and I don't want people up, sound gone, just like that, sound gone.
Are you serious?
Yeah, sound gone, just like that.
Oh snap!
For those who are,
how many streams you on right now?
3.
All of them?
Yeah.
Dude. Because there's no video. We don't have any video right now.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that amazing?
No, I can hear you. I can hear it.
Okay.
No, but he's talking about for the streams.
It's live right now. I can hear you guys right now on the stream.
Awesome. I can't hear myself. What is up with that? No connection. Oh, there we go. Need numbers again.
Title is still Factum.
No. Really? I changed it.
Yeah, she needs the numbers again.
Hey, the numbers are right on the screen. There we go. I can hear myself now talking.
Okay.
All right. We're back live. We're talking about the Project Bluebeam tonight. All right. So we're back live now. And I hope that you guys are doing well tonight. Listen, if you're here, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And yeah, it says Factum. I'll be darned. Don't worry, I'm going to change it right now for you boys and girls. Johnny, are you still there? Big B, are you still there?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
sir.
still there, man.
You guys are quiet on me. I know. I guess we got the attention of somebody tonight. So
while we're waiting for this to come back together, what do you guys think about the Factum protocol? I mean, I think that's kind of interesting that, you know, it will be helpful to, like, say, have documents, videos, all of the kind of stuff put to a specific, tax ID or hash ID, but it almost seems like, then it's not you're selling people's data, but you're selling data to people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're almost charging them to document themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how that plays out, man. If you guys want to know, if you want to call in, the number is live right on the screen in big red letters.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
You there?
She has made it back. Hot diggity dog. All right, boys and girls.
Yes, indeed.
And we're about to go deep. How deep? Real deep. Yeah. What is it? What is it? But on that factor protocol, for you guys who are joining and are laid over with us, thank you. If you're coming back on tonight. Hey, listen, whoever's watching the show right now, this after hour moment, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure you share this video, this stream out with everyone, right?
And make sure you know what it is.
Yes, make sure you know what it is. And we are talking about Project Bluebeam here. And, yeah, some minor issues are going on right now. So let's talk about what Project Bluebeam is, all right? What is the Project Bluebeam? We talked about deepfake earlier. And I think these two things run hand in hand. For those who are tuning in on the True Planet 32 station, welcome. Welcome to the show. This is your first time viewing live. And I'll be watching you guys on that end there in a few moments. All right. Get down. Awesome. Okay, yeah, we're on both sides of the fence. Sweet. All right, so we got multicasting going on two different channels, and we're on Periscope TV, which is a beautiful thing. Hey, listen.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. What's the room? The Periscope.
That's a great question. Let me get that figured out right now and make sure it's live, because sometimes it'll jump out. If you got friends or family out there, Miss Nancy Owens, yeah, tell them to tune in tonight, because we're about to go deep.
Let's see if Alan wants to join the call.
Who is that?
Yeah.
You're a funny dude. He says, yeah, Alan, come on the call, man. I'm not doing that, man. That guy's not coming to find me. I got enough problems in my life. You know what I mean? John, you're a funny dude, man. You're trying to bring the evil forces of the world down on my head.
No.
You're so mean. Why are you so mean? All right, but hey, listen. So we're talking about the Project Bluebeam. All right. I guess they don't want us to come on Periscope TV. They don't like us right now. All right. So we're just on two channels: YouTube, True Planet 32, and right here, Your Crypto Daily. Listen. So let's talk about what the Project Bluebeam is. Right, as you guys can see on the picture, what we're dealing with right here: stuff in the sky, raining down like it's really there, but it's not. We talked about deepfake with the manipulation of data or content, right? Project Bluebeam, based on Rational Wiki. It's a conspiracy theory that claims that NASA is attempting to implement a New Age religion with the Antichrist as its head and start a new world order. Via technology simulated the second coming of the saviors of all the major religions across the world. The allegations were represented in 1994 by Quebecish journalist and conspiracy theorist Serge Monast. Later published in his book Project Bluebeam, NASA proponents of the theory allege that Monast and other unnamed journalists who both died of heart attacks coincidentally were in fact assassinated, and that the Canadian government kidnapped Monast's daughter in an effort to dissuade him for investigating Project Bluebeam. Project was also supposed to be implemented in 1983, but it didn't happen, and it was then set for implementation in 1995, and then in 1996, Monast through Project Bluebeam would be brought to fruition by year 2000. Really, definitely, for sure. And yet, We have not seen it. Truth or fiction? Does it really exist? Here's a picture here depicting the Christ in the sky in the form of a cloud format. I remember hearing stories about something of this sort that people were stating during the Gulf War, the first Gulf War when we invaded Kuwait and Iraq and such, that they saw figurines of their savior there in the Middle East, and people began running, and that is the reason why we won the war so easily. I don't know if that's true. What do you guys think?
Me, myself, I've never even heard of this.
Oh, is that so?
No.
Well, welcome to some truth. Well, conspiracy depends on who you are. Yeah, so it all really started back in the 90s with this dude. I'm looking on here. The proponents of the theory have extrapolated that to embrace HARP, the Norwegian spiral, chemtrails, FEMA concentration camps, Tupac Shakur. Everything is part of the Blue Beam Project, as they say. Have you ever heard of this dude named Bill Cooper in the Pale White Horse book?
Not me.
What about you, Johnny? Have you ever heard of the William Cooper?
Didn't they make a little movie about that?
Behold a Pale Horse?
Yeah, an indie movie about that.
They possibly did, man. You just never know what these
No,
people...
but it's interesting that you guys were just talking about, like certain things like atmospheric engineering and, how they're doing things like that. But then also, people allegedly trying to start something like a space force, and trying to be able to rule things like the space, whereas as far as we know, it's supposed to be empty, so why do we have to... Yeah, space.
Nah, man,
So,
we know it's not empty.
well, so yeah, but I mean, that's what we're being told thus far. So then we have to build up something, and you were talking about them trying to start a alliance with, some kind of force or sect and all this other kind of thing. But what I believe is, like, through where we live, there are many different religions throughout this earth.
Right.
And all of them usually have a base around a God. They're based around God. They may have different ideas of Him, different visions, different all this other kind of stuff, but it's based around a supreme being. And I would be led to believe that there are many other things outside of maybe say Earth that also can believe in the same type of religion.
Right. That is true. I mean, but everybody, everyone's religion, right, across the country and across the world, it somehow seems to have that same sort of subtle ending, where there's a great savior that comes on the scene, and there's a great evil that rises from the depths of the earth, and they both clash, and the good people are saved, and the bad people are cast into some internal damnation of hell, or outer darkness, no matter what religion you go to. Now, am I saying that all religions are the same? No, not by any means. But I believe that, there's something that's been taught across the world, across the country, that some people believe that it's all true, and that it's all one. And I believe that's where the evil that comes out of the ground is going to use for its purpose to bring people all together under one thought.
Well, what if
And
you look at
focus on
something
Him.
like oil?
Okay, talk about it.
Oil. You can look at oil as something that comes up out of the ground. People have processed, people have used it, they have industrialized it, they've turned it to money, and they have formatted themselves all the way to the point where almost everybody drives an automobile.
Interesting. So you think that's it's got a huge part that it plays on being an evil thing?
It all depends on how these things are used by man. I mean, it serves some purpose, to an extent, but we're a growing society. We continually have to change, and that's where we're at a breaking point right now, where the numbers are off. We're not living in such a stable time frame. It's a very interesting one. Don't get me wrong. A lot of interesting things are happening. Across the world, across the nations. But we are at a point of change where something has to be different. And, that's why I think everybody's looking at new technologies or new resources or new innovations in order to change from what we currently are to what we're supposed to become.
Interesting.
And just because, somebody might have an idea that they think this is the way to go, and, we need to follow this order or this ideology to be safe, doesn't necessarily mean that's what is meant for development, for growth, for humanity, for the continuation of creation that was started.
What do you feel about that, Johnny Boy Crypto? You out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What are you thinking about all this, man?
It's I'm still trying to wrap my brain around deep fake and Mandela effect.
And so talk about that Mandela effect, man, for those who don't know what that is.
It's the theory that what you know as a memory has changed over time. Like, for instance, a verse in the Bible may have said you have thought it said one thing your whole life, and then you go back to read that same verse and it's been changed. The wording's been changed, and everybody notices the same thing once you point it out. It's like, wow, I could have sworn it said something else. Possibly wording, how things are worded, symbols, even deaths of celebrities. Everybody thought, a certain amount of people thought Nelson Mandela passed away that's where they got the name Mandela effect, because a large group of people thought Nelson Mandela passed away many, many years ago. So there's this whole twilight zone where half the population thought history was one thing and the other. It's hard to wrap your brain around, but just Google search Mandela effect. And
what are your guys' thoughts on certain people being intertwined within history?
Well, with the Mandela effect, and based on how they define it, it's, in my opinion, Gorbachev. He was murdered in 1983. Yet supposedly he sat down with Reagan in 86 to end the Cold War. He was dead. That's the Mandela effect, from what I understand.
Fascinating.
That's where.
So when Reagan said, "Gorbachev, tear down that wall," now again, that one goes back to Mike Volin and Joe Biden and Bush and Clinton. A lot of them. Gorbachev had body doubles.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of these people, like this Mandela individual, supposedly dead for 20 years. He probably is. It's probably just a body double, the one that appeared in 2008, unless they held him in a prison somewhere, which I think that's what they said happened to him, and that's how they explained it.
That man was hated by the powers that were in place at that time. And around that time was the apartheid. Apartheid.
Yeah, exactly. Apartheid. And he was, if I recall correctly, one of the leaders. pushing to get equality in I think South Africa.
Yes, that is correct.
Was it? Yeah, that's been a while.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, South Africa, and all of a sudden he gets out and he becomes president. I found that kind of weird.
Yeah, but do we know? Yeah, like that's what they're saying. I mean, do we really know that was the true Mandela? So
it's a crazy world that we live in. But we just wanted to make sure we touched on that, and for those because you guys.
But body doubles, what's your idea on cloning that's going on?
Well, that's part of Order 66 for you rebel scum. It's it is what it is, man. I mean, I think they've been cloning body doubles forever, right?
Well, certainly with plastic surgery, you can, you can work a little magic and get people to look, people who have very similar features to come out looking almost exactly like the original individual. But actually cloning a person and having them grow at exactly the same age, same time, same background, same thoughts, no, I don't believe in that.
But it's not really like the background, the same thought. You just have to grow something that is programmable.
Yeah, but you'd still have to have a human body and some sort of plastic surgery because it's never going to be correct if you clone. If you have a cloning. I mean, and how are they going to grow an individual, to be, say, Mandela's age to be 70 years old within a short period of time?
Working on the telomeres.
I think there's some truth in all fiction.
Working on the end of the chromosomes. The end of the chromosome is called the telomere. The telomere is what dictates age and all those other kind of things.
I don't know. It's a stretch. In my opinion, that's a stretch. It's actors actors coming in playing characters such as Mandela. He probably was dead for all of those years, and what you have is a body double.
And interesting that you bring up body doubles. Like, how many times do you think that they've used body doubles to enter an event or to go towards something to make sure that nobody else is in the area, but nobody ever hears or sees or witnesses any of the body doubles entering a facility? They only see the real product.
In my opinion, it's based on they're trying to revive him again. John F. Kennedy Jr. He was dead in the early 80s, and he was at the behest of Blagojevich, which is why now recently, again, we talked about this last week, when my intel came out on the murder of Hoffa, Blagojevich was the in between, and he's the one who ordered the murder of John. It was done by plane with a date rape drug, and yet supposedly John. Now, when we crashed, and John didn't make it out of that plane. He was, he had been given the date rape drug. His face hit the windshield because when he passed out in midair. So he's been dead. All right, but yet supposedly. He lived until 1989. Now, that's the Mandela effect. That was not the real John. That was a body double. Not a cloning, just a simple actor who comes in and plays the role. Because, again, as I was talking about this last week, if you had Hoffa, and this gets into the Panama Papers because that's where, with Pablo and Bush, that's where they stashed a lot of their money. They stashed it outside of the United States.
Because there are different financial laws outside the United States.
That I don't know. All I know is when I was with Pablo, we had made quite a bit of money actually with Bush, and we were encouraged to invest it in a bank. And Pablo did it, I did it, and I don't even know if it's still there. Even if it was still there, I'm sure they're going to take off with it.
Interesting.
And,
like when people
some of us are on no fly. We've been rendered. In my situation, been rendered completely dependent on other people. Even though in the early years I did the contract kills for Bush and other entities. Even though I have a degree in journalism and an additional 3 years at the University of Florida, I've been rendered completely, I have to be completely dependent on somebody else. So for me to go back and, I mean, even to get a lawyer to bring some of this to light, I would need money. And, I'm going to be very hard-pressed to find a lawyer because this is so complex, because all of this happened in one particular area with a lot of contract kills on both sides of the White House and deals with other countries. It's just not, it's not going to be an easy thing. That's for sure. But yeah, Mandela effect, that's just, in my opinion, that's just body doubles. That's code for body doubles.
Like I was going to say, interesting enough with people who are making a lot of money back in, a few decades ago or several decades ago, if you had your money here in the United States, well, then it had to be distributed somehow, or it had to be, allocated for it. But if you would invest your money, say, out of the United States in different regions, you can almost create a social equity as opposed to just a financial amount.
What's a social equity?
Say, for example, if somebody went to Panama and bought up half the Panama Canal before the U.S. was there.
Okay, so and that's called social equity?
Social equity meaning like you have the means of the people as opposed to just the dollars that they're worth.
Okay. Okay. Well, something maybe. I mean, I don't know if I quite understand it, but I know that with Bush, we would fly in, go into certain equities and not equities, but areas, and a lot of these people were sick, so they needed. I mean, they very, very sick, so. Some of the Americans would come in and help. Is that what you're referring to as social equity?
No, what I was referring to was like, you were saying during a period of time, you guys were getting paid large amounts of money.
Right.
And so it all depends on how you deposit your large amounts of money. If you deposit large amounts of money here in the United States without distributing it, like say amongst the people, you have to find some other way, like say out of the nation, in order to distribute or deposit large amounts of money where there are different financial laws. That's one of the interesting things about cryptocurrency starting up now is cryptocurrency is becoming an international currency that is not bound by just one financial institution, but is a global international entity that can be regulated by different means.
Oh, okay. All right. I think I follow you.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, just something that, this is kind of what we work on nowadays.
Okay. Yeah. I think I understand now. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little suspicious of the cryptocurrencies because there seems like there's a new one cropping up every week,
And there is. And, how long does it take someone to investigate a cryptocurrency?
Okay. Why would you investigate a cryptocurrency?
Well, I mean, like, say, for example, somebody's selling a cryptocurrency here in the United States. They're under the jurisdiction of the SEC, and then the SEC has to go into that company and look through their books.
Oh, okay. All right.
But if you have 2,000 companies, and these companies are worldwide, there's only so much jurisdiction that's out there.
Oh, okay, and that's where if you're a world traveler, you have knowledge of each country, and that's where they certainly would have the advantage. People who have money to travel and understand each of these countries, which pretty much boils down to the politicians.
Yeah, kind of the people who have money to make money.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have a question for you, Miss Owens.
Okay.
How is it? And I don't know if Johnny asked this question. I had to step away from the microphone for a moment. And I think this is a burning question everyone has since you've been on the show. How is it that, with the information that you relayed to us on the air, that nothing has happened to you?
It has. There were many. Okay. If you go onto the internet and you go into look up People Magazine, all right? I'm typing it. I'm making sure that it's still there. I think the title of it is Wild West, and then put in the name Clewiston, Clewiston. Okay, let's see if it comes up.
The Wild West 10.
Yeah, let's see where it's People Magazine, and it's I'm not seeing it like it. Oh, there. Well, no. Where are you? Oh boy. A few years ago, I could find it. Let me take out the Wild West and just put in Clewiston and see if it comes up, or if they've tossed it. Yep, I am not seeing it. Used to be it'd be right there, but it's not.
Wild West 10?
No, Clewiston. Clewiston.
Yeah, Clewiston. Yeah, let me just try People. Let me see. Maybe I spelled magazine wrong.
Clewston, I believe.
Yeah. Anyway, if you can never find that article, that's one assassination attempt I survived. That was 2 weeks after I got my degree in journalism and started working for the newspaper, and the magazine, the article, and see that brings up something.
Is this a shootout in the street?
Yeah, shootout in the
1985?
street. That's what it's titled. Shootout in the street. Yeah, that sounds.
Now, was this around the same time as like Martin Luther King and all that kind of stuff?
I do not believe so. I don't believe so. Yeah, okay, it's that article, Shootout in the Street.
By Alan Richman?
Yes. Okay. Alan Richman, he came down. I was working as a newspaper. I met him. I met his partner, okay? And his partner, I was doing some research, and I ran across his picture just like 2 weeks ago. His partner apparently followed up on what was going on in Clewiston and actually ended up writing a couple of books on it, because we couldn't talk. I mean, after surviving that assassination attempt, Hayward and Bryant, these two guys were not fighting each other. That's what they wanted to be, this black and white racial fight in the street. That's not what it was. It was Mac Booth and Hayward Bryant. What had actually happened was Hayward Bryant was part of the cartel. He was an assassin. Somebody had sent him to kill me, and I was lucky because one of the guys that my dad, it's a small town. We all know each other. I mean, there was only like 3,000 people in the 1980s. So Mac Booth just happened to be driving up behind me, and Hayward Bryant was on the other side. And Hayward Bryant said, "Stop the vehicle." While I was sitting at a red light, and he asked me, "Is your name Nancy Owens?" And I said, "Yes, it was." And James Booth, pulled up beside me, got in between Hayward Bryant and myself, looked at Hayward Bryant and said something. He looked over at me. He says, "Nancy, get the hell out of here." So I went home, and I went and I fixed an egg sandwich, and it was a half of an egg sandwich, and I waited, and I was like, got back in the vehicle not too long after that, drove up to the stop sign and was like, okay, do I go to work? You know, it was still too early to go to work, or do I go see what happened down the road? Go to work, you know. So I sat there and I was eating the egg sandwich, and I was like, you know, curiosity just got the better of me. So I went down the road, and you know, it wasn't. They shot and killed each other. It wasn't, you know, and again, that was just one assassination attempt that I survived. I've survived many, many attempts. A lot of times with help, and in some, you know, very surprisingly, you know, you never, being a female, a young female, you don't, a lot of young men are going to step in and just nature takes its course, you know. So I survived a lot of them with help. So yeah, but again, that's one assassination that I survived. That was in 1985, right after I graduated from Palm Beach Community College with a degree in journalism. And I was working. Now here's the kicker. If you want conspiracy theories, here, honey, I got one for you. My boss's name is Jim Jones.
Yes.
Jim Jones was my newspaper boss at the time. Now, where have you heard the name Jim Jones?
Kool-Aid Man.
Supposedly, Jim Jones went down to Guyana with a whole bunch of people, and they all disappeared. No, that's not what happened. It was when the sheriff was killing off a lot of people to hide this supposed this imaginary serial killer that, you know, had, you know, that was a BS propaganda piece put out to explain that is saying that it's a cult and all of these people who have disappeared down in Guyana. No. If you ever go to Clewiston, and don't even bother trying to get the Clewiston News on, you know, if you try to do research on Clewiston News archives, you're not going to find them from like the 1965 up until some later date. During the crucial years that Jim Jones, Reverend, and he wasn't a reverend, he was a editor of a newspaper. During the year that Jim Jones and others were running the newspaper, all of these newspapers have been pulled, and the reason they've been pulled is because they are totally, totally unreliable. And when you start talking about what you talked about earlier, blockchains, when you think of blockchains, think Genesis, okay? Because people are going to want the material, the information that I have, and so I can see already that you can't start a blockchain without Genesis, okay? Genesis is the original event, and as I discussed with you last week, the Adam Walsh was a Genesis, because that is the exact moment when Mafia backed away and Medellin cartel started up. So you can't do the history. And when it comes to the Medellin cartel, I am the expert on it because it was my life. I lived it. I know the exact moment when Mafia backed away and Pablo Escobar and the Medellin cartel came up. That's what you call Genesis. That's the very beginning of a blockchain. You cannot start a blockchain without having a Genesis. All right. So that's why these new words, these new things are cropping up, because it's a recognition that Wikipedia is totally unreliable. I mean, if you want to look up, you know, dog breeds or cat breeds or plants, you know, it's going to be reliable. But if you want to look up anything political, dealing with Hoffa, with Pablo, blah, blah, Jim Jones, blah, 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 all BS. Because if you notice, when you get onto YouTube, under my videos, YouTube has inserted Wikipedia under there, saying, okay, like Vince Foster, saying Vince Foster was 1994. Why does Wikipedia and YouTube feel the need to put in basically this information underneath my video? It shouldn't be there. You know, you've got a lot of videos out there with a lot of information, but they've selected a few of us to sit there and put their information in. So what's going on is that people are starting to recognize that with Julian Assange and a lot of these other individuals who have been putting out false intel, Jerome Corsi, so on and so forth, they're going to have to toss this Wikipedia because it's totally, totally unreliable. Now there's an opening for a new information gathering, and of course information gathering means money, and there's going to be people saying, okay, well let's do this, and this. But before you have the blockchain, you have to have Genesis. And I've got so many Genesis situations because I can tell you exactly where Pablo Escobar's mother worked. She worked in my elementary school. I can tell you Jim Jones and this Guyana, taking them down to Guyana, and that's why they all disappeared is bullshit. The Genesis is the sheriff. And if you put into your search engine, Sheriff Sermon, Sermon, Dias. Now that was our sheriff, Junior, and he was Pablo's friend. And you put in Falcon, Falcon, and Magluta, Magluta. You will find the trial of William Saul, and again, keep in mind a lot of this too is BS. Some of it's true, some of it's not. You got half truth, half lies. The trial of William Saul, and if you scroll down and read through that article, you will find one of the witnesses against Magluta and Falcon was our sheriff, okay, which is a joke. That is like, it's a joke, okay? There's no way that sheriff should have been given testimony on anybody because he was just as corrupt as the rest of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that too, the Genesis, the very exact moment when Pablo Escobar and Sermon Dias Jr. became friends, it was when Pablo had molested me when I was walking home from the elementary school, and I was taken a week later by this same sheriff that I'm talking about in this article to be molested again. And that's when they started up their friendship. And that was like 1973. I mean, real early on. So that's another Genesis. Okay. So,
wow.
Wikipedia says Pablo's from Colombia. No. Bullshit. He was in 1973, he was living in Clewiston. In 1973, is when the friendship between Pablo Escobar and the Sermon Dias Jr. began. That wasn't the exact moment of the beginning of the Medellin cartel, but it was the exact moment of the beginning of the friendship of what would later become the Medellin cartel. So again, we have blockchains. You can't get the following information until you know the genesis.
Wow. Raw. Uncut.
It's down and dirty. I mean, there's just so, I mean, there's no toning it down. You have to describe it completely. The bodies, the cutting up, the rapes, the molestations, all of it. You can't dance around it. For people to understand it fully, you've got to give it straight up raw.
This is absolutely insane. We're talking with Ruth Nancy Owens, half sister of
Nancy Ruth Owens.
Oh, I said it backwards.
If you notice, there's a Nancy Ruth in the Congress. They like to take your still. When people start focusing on a certain individual, all of a sudden somebody in Congress will pop up. It's like Ted Cruz. Now he claims to be the Zodiac killer. No,
Ted Cruz is claiming to be the Zodiac killer now.
Ted Cruz is, they're trying to get the information away from me, get you to focus away from me and my information.
If you think about it, it's kind of like posting on the Inquirer. The Inquirer will put out a fake story with real people to try to cover up what's really going on.
Exactly.
All the way up to the level of politics and what she is describing well, the best way to cover up somebody is just to make a new one. You know,
Exactly.
and like even something that I don't know if you guys are familiar, but the guy Freeway Rick Ross.
Oh, you should have been on the show last week then. Yeah.
Yeah, that was last. Yeah.
Oh, you guys talked about Freeway Rick Ross?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Freeway's from my hometown.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the thing people have to get. As I was saying, people have to get at. Stop thinking about all these things happening here, there, and everywhere. Bring it down to the swamp. Bring it down to Clewiston. That's where Freeway started.
Man.
That's where Obama's from. That's where Pablo's.
That's because where everything was coming into, and it was coming in, by those planes and all the other kind of stuff. They had to get it somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, Pablo was a Hispanic, and they had already had marijuana coming in.
So he was the Hispanic, and then I would believe the sheriff was Caucasian.
Yep.
And Freeway would have been the African American.
Yeah, black.
So did they have?
African American didn't come around until 1985 when I did Obama's forged birth certificate. My mother was from Arizona, and she met my father, who was in the Air Force. She moved with him to the swamp area, and that particular word my mother couldn't stand. And if we ever used this word, she would break out the hot sauce, and we'd have to sit here with hot sauce in our mouth for about 5 minutes. I kid you not. So when it came time to do Obama's birth certificate, I just couldn't put down certain words, and here's the kicker now, it was Pablo picked it up. It became a lot of trends started in the swamp. That Miami look where they've got the shirt open, they're wearing silk shirts and gold chains, that didn't start in Miami. That started in the swamp. Genesis. The genesis of the African American term came when I filled out his birth certificate. I wasn't comfortable with the N word because my mama we would be punished for using it. I wasn't comfortable with Negro. I'm still not comfortable with it. And I was going to college, which is why we did Obama's birth certificate. And the only thing I was comfortable with was the continent, which was Africa. So that's why they've pinpointed that the birth certificate is fake, because you won't find birth certificates prior to this time that uses the word Africa. Guess what? It was a white girl who started this. I mean, that's going to be hard for some people to accept, but it's true. In Africa, it wasn't used until 1985. And when we did the birth certificate, we just did one for him. Well, then it went to Maya. Maya was like, I'd like to have a birth certificate in exchange for me doing the longer birth certificate. I missed at the first one. So Maya Delgado says, I want one out of Hawaii too. So Obama was the first one and she was Hispanic. I don't know what she put on hers. Anyway. So Obama was the first one. Maya was the second one. And you have to keep in mind the one is Griselda. I call Griselda the second. Her real name's Olivia. She's a smart woman. She tried to kill me several times as things went on, especially when I got my degree in journalism. But at the same time, she's the one that helped me kill the sheriff. So I have had respect for her. Respect. Just that gets into a whole different. We had like love triangles. She loved Ribby because Ribby was her hitman. Ribby was into me. He and I got married twice. I was loyal to him, but at the same time, I was loyal to Olivia. So, we had like a really bad situation, and she was trying to get rid of me, but at the same time, she didn't know she wanted to because, so anyway, we had a witches pact. It was, my mother, Griselda, Popeye's mom and myself, we started off as a 4-witch pack in the early around. I don't know if it was earlier than 1985.
Let's pause
but again,
Miss Owens, can I pause for a moment if you don't mind me asking? Because
sure.
you dropped so much information all on this once. So you were into Wiccan or Wicca?
No, it was just they were cannibals. When the Hispanics got thrown out out of town, I don't know if they were cannibals before, but certainly by the time I was in my teens and back out there again, they were cannibals. And they were into, the witchcraft, and they knew quite a bit. I mean, they were, when it came to certain things like, and this is not something I was proud of, necessarily proud of, but it was necessity. I didn't want to end up dead. I was pregnant, and she knew certain herbs, things that she could give you that would almost, it would kill the child, but it wouldn't kill the individual. So she had knowledge. She had knowledge above and beyond what Americans know. Where she got her initial knowledge from, I don't know.
Who is this now?
But she was a very, very smart woman.
Now, who is this you're referring to?
The one you know is Griselda Blanco, but her real name is Olivia. She wasn't the first Griselda Blanco. I'm the first Griselda Blanco. And when I was going to college, it was just, it was, okay, you don't need the reputation anymore. So the reputation, and keep in mind in Spanish, Blanco means white. It doesn't mean brown or black. It means white.
Right.
And it was transferred to her. And what Griselda Blanco literally means is white gruesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So
there you have it, boys and girls. Knowledge dropped on your head right there. Bam. Unreal. Well, I must say it's been a lot of information that's been passed on to us again tonight, and we thank you for coming back on the show. Don't be a stranger with us by any means. We talked a little bit about everything, a little Project Bluebeam, a little Pablo Escobar, a little Jim Jones, a little this, a little that. You guys have any other questions? Brandon or Johnny Boy? You guys
I'm good right now.
Well, hey, I want to say thanks for coming on the show again tonight and hanging out with us, Miss Owens.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And
thank you for having me on here.
Yeah.
I don't get invited to too many parties.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. Like, oh man, But hey, no, man, you're always nice to us. Our endeavor one day is to have Alex Jones on the show.
Yeah, he's not going to be too thrilled with me. I'm the one who complained. We can talk about that later on, like next week. SES. Okay, do you remember when they started putting on SES, trying to put down this false intel?
Yeah.
Alex Jones picked it up. Phil McConnell, DeFango, a bunch of them started picking it up, and it was false intel. That's what got them kicked off of YouTube.
Wow.
So, I mean, giving you a heads up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's not too thrilled with me. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely give you a heads up.
His business crashed when he started putting SES out there, and I complained to YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah.
No worries.
And he knows the truth. He's the one who knows, from talking to Freeway, from talking to Jerome Corsi, and see, that's the other thing too. He put up Jerome Corsi, knowing full well Jerome Corsi was BS. So.
Wow.
It would be interesting. I wouldn't mind. It would certainly be interesting.
Yeah, it would be. That would be amazing. Well, okay. Well, hey, you guys, don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think below. Give us some update, some recommendations on what you want to hear, what you want to see, what you want to taste. I'm joking about the tasting part. But hey, to next time, join us next Friday. And I think we're going to try to do this format here on out. Do 2 formats. Give you a little touch of the wild side, a little touch of the crypto side, and make everybody happy, right? Well, I'm Red Planet 32, Johnny Boy Crypto, and Mr. Big B Brandon Washington. Thank you guys for joining. We're signing off. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you guys next week. Peace.
Okay.
Hey guys, see you later.
Many coin developers require extensive infrastructure to maintain day-to-day operations, while hobbyists, investors, and traders require coin developers to do this securely and professionally. We are Spectre Security Coin, building a new kind of decentralized community.
It's that time again, your crypto daily time. So grab a seat, get some coffee, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And now here's your hosts, Red Planet 32 and Johnny Boy Crypto.
What is up, world? I'm here. Red Planet 32 here live in the living color, doing it in 3D from parts unknown, actually known as Michigan, home of the Motor City, the Kitty Cats of Detroit, the Pistons who can't win, And it's cold as a dog outside, but hey, we're still here live in living color, man. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. And shout out to Adachi Kogiro Crypto. Hey yo, you guys are first. Yes, maybe we'll give you some money tonight. We'll give you some crypto tonight, man. I'm in a good mood. Life crisis, man down. Somebody help me. But we are here, and I hope everybody's having a fantastic time tonight. I hope everybody's had a fantastic weekend, and we're gonna get into some crypto. Well, man, we're gonna get to some deep stuff tonight, man. I'm here, Red Planet 32. My co-host Johnny Boy Crypto, special co-host on tonight, Mr. Spectre Security himself, also known as Digi Warfare. And we got a special guest here tonight. I want to make sure I'm saying the name right. Oh gosh, forgive me. Crypto Gangs! God dang it, you look like Blake Griffin.
Oh, man. Come on.
Crypto Gangs is in the house, man. And of course, Scott LaRock from Hyped on Crypto. And the lovely You Can't Say LOL is with us tonight. Guys? Yes. How about the America and everything that's going through right now, man? Is the freaking government ever going to open up again?
I hope not.
Permanent shutdown. Long-term vacation.
That's right.
Nobody's getting checks.
Just think, they ain't spending any money.
Oh, man, the hood is going to get restless by I'll give it to the 16th. Oh, Lord. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, no, you didn't just...
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Oh, no.
That's right. Yes.
You're singing first of the month for like
my God, forever. Like, I wish the first of the month would get here. Bridge cars not loaded. Tax returns all held up. Oh, man, we're going to get deep tonight. We're going to get deep. How deep? Real deep. Hey, this show's been brought to you tonight by X42. Open, feeless, and infinite. Check them out at x42.tech. Oh, man. Spectre Security Coin. Helping build a better, safer blockchain technology. Check them out at SpectreSecurityCoin.io. All right. Hey, listen, let's talk about a little bit what's going on in the crypto world, man. So much going on in the crazy world of crypto. Because this is technically a crypto show, but tonight y'all going to hate us. But I guess it's all going to tie into the crypto world and all that it offers, right? The mysterious things that happen behind the scenes. Coin I want to highlight this week. I'm mad because I sold them. GLD, the gold coin, up 40%. Was 3 cents per coin last week. Up 6 points now. 6%, 6 cents per coin. I would have doubled up on my boys. Check them out, man. They're going through this weird fork right now, reverse fork, which I still don't understand, but it's going through a reverse fork right now. Tagline, GLD. All right. CarryNet up 292% this week. The last 24 hours. Octocoin coin up 69%. Chex coin, I never heard of, 54%. Aces up 50%. Oh, look at that. Everything is just in the green for the little cryptos that Johnny Boy Crypto loves so much. Man, we got to do a show on the little cryptos now, Johnny, and highlight some new projects. But let's look at the big boys, right? We got top 100. Bitcoin dropped down $300 in the last 24 hours. Well, technically 36 hours, I guess now. It's up to $3,600 still. It's maintaining. Ripple, 33 cents. Ethereum, $127. Bitcoin Cash, the one that everybody loves to hate, $134. EOS, not looking too bad. Tron looking a little bloody, down 11%. Oh, God, man. The kid is in rare form tonight. Cardano down 1%. IOTA up almost 0.5%. So guys, check it out, man. It is what it is. It's this thing called life. Crypto. Hey, did we lose somebody? Like, now I see a pyramid. I did have like 3 sides on each side.
Yeah, it seemed like somebody left.
Who left?
I don't know.
I'm still here.
Oh, Johnny Boy. He's fading in and fading out. It's the UFOs. Hey, listen, tonight we're going to talk about some dark things. And I'm not talking about myself. but we're gonna talk about the. we're gonna. I'm sorry, man. The expression of my man's face, Crypto Gangs was priceless, right? Hey, listen, if you're out there, I want us to all band together in solidarity. I want everybody to tweet this out. So if you're listening, if you're in the chat, I need you to tweet this show out tonight because we're gonna get deep. I can't say it enough. We're talking about the Dark Alliance. What in God's name is the Dark Alliance? Misty Channel, what is up? Kagiro Crypto, I said your name already. Sorgakill, what's going on with you? Jeremy Lee, man, you a funny dude, man. Thanks for hanging out with us again on tonight. Listen, everybody tweet it out. But let's talk about the Dark Alliance. What is the Dark Alliance? And then in midway, we're going to talk about some giveaways that Scott LaRock from Hyped on Crypto is going to be giving away here on tonight. But you know what? Before we can get to that, Scott, since you're here, let's talk about it, man. What are you guys giving away tonight?
Hey, what's up, Brett? How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, super. Thanks for asking. What you got,
so we're
man?
Gonna have this huge party. So we got this huge party going on tonight. So I had everybody do an invite contest, and I'll be announcing the winners for that. We have a party starting in about an hour and a half in Fort Knox, and we're gonna be dropping a lot of crypto. So if you guys ain't doing nothing, stop in.
That sounds so exciting. I'm really that's great, man. That's gonna be awesome. Is there any special words, passwords, like getting into a speakeasy that they need to use or drop in order for them to take advantage of this?
Get in early because it's already getting pretty crazy in there right now.
All right. Did you drop a link in the?
Yeah, like where do I go?
Yeah, where do we go? Where do we go, brother? Huh? So we get this money.
So if you join Fort Knox, I'll put the link in there. We will have a special roll tonight. If you're listening to the voice channel, which means you'll be able to hear the music, you'll get into Ground Zero. So that's a VIP roll, and that's where we're going to drop some pretty good coins in there. So, but you have to be on the voice call to earn those coins.
In the description box, there is a Fort Knox link
awesome.
For Your Crypto Daily YouTube channel and Johnny Boy Crypto. If you're listening in the Discord chat, voice chat, then the link is in the Fort Knox channel.
Awesome.
Awesome stuff.
And I'll announce the winners of the shared masternode seats at any time you guys are ready.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Hey, listen, I don't want the people to get restless, right? Because, you know, our audience is like only 2. And, you know, we're reaching into the we're reaching into the thousands and the thousands. We're going to be talking about the Dark Alliance tonight. And we got a special guest that's going to be educating us on this tonight. So this show may go over. So if you're just now tuning in, all jokes aside, you haven't missed anything just yet because people get mad. They're like, why does this dude keep talking? All right, so here it is. Without any further ado, Mr. Digi Warfare, educate us on what the Dark Alliance is all about.
Hey, how are you, man?
Hi there.
Hi. So before I get into Dark Alliance, I want to just bring everybody up to speed a little on something that we're going to touch base in. If you listen to R&B or rap music, lately you've been hearing a lot of music coming out from a guy named Rick Ross.
Oh, Ricky Ross.
Ricky Ross. Unfortunately, what I have to tell you guys is this is not the real Rick Ross.
Say what?
Okay. So the real Rick Ross, who actually this guy is getting his name from, is actually Freeway Ricky Ross.
Okay.
And Freeway Ricky Ross was part of a big conspiracy for bringing crack cocaine into Los Angeles in Southern California. And basically what we're talking about is the beginning of the crack epidemic in the United States. So Ricky Ross, the one that you hear now on you know, all the music and stuff, is not the same Ricky Ross. The real Ricky Ross is actually taking him to court right now. I don't know if the case has been settled yet to get his name back. Because this dude like up and stole his name, up and stole street cred, everything.
Wow.
So what we want to do is we're doing a throwback conspiracy show tonight. Yes. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Dark Alliance. And Dark Alliance was a paper that was put out by a journalist who's not with us anymore named Gary Webb. Not surprisingly, Gary Webb was found dead. The official report was suicide, but dude had 2 bullet holes in his head. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if someone's going to commit suicide, do you get 2 tries? Do you like not off yourself with the first one and then get yourself with the second? And
oh man.
So we've seen this come out. Vince Foster. There were a couple people that were associated with the Clintons mysteriously died, 2 bullets in their head. So 2 is seeming to be a conspiracy number here. So without any ado, let's start talking about the backstory here. And this story is an old story. This story actually got its start probably about 2 years after I was born. So we're about 1977. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Dark Alliance is Gary Webb's investigation into the evolution of the international drug ring with ties to the CIA and the Nicaraguan Contras. That's a saga that lasted for more than 20 years. It's got a bunch of feature stories in it. Secreted money trails, crack cocaine distributions. Wow. All of it was chronicled. So to start it off, let's go way back and look at kind of the beginning. And for most of us here, it's 1979. So you have Nicaraguan crime boss Norman Meneses. Okay, he will become the leader of the international drug ring. Okay, so he was arrested and jailed in 1977 in connection with one of Nicaragua's top custom officials' murder. He's got a couple brothers. One is General Edmundo Meneses. He was police chief. He was believed to have been part of the CIA as an asset who coordinated the counterinsurgency movements that were going on through Latin America in the 1970s. Okay. Wow. 1978, spring. FBI and DEA reports together. They show that Norwin and Ernesto Meneses, they're both smuggling large amount of cocaine out of Nicaragua and into the United States by commercial airliners. This was how it started. People used to get on planes with cocaine and drugs and bring them in. There wasn't any security that we have now. Okay.
Wow.
So now we bring in another character, Jamie Meneses. This was the guy who is actually, from my understanding, responsible for distributing cocaine in San Francisco. So this is spring of 1978. In September, late September, Edmundo Meneses was actually machine gunned down. He died of his injuries 2 weeks later, and this was done by the Sandinistas. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, the Sandinistas were one of the Nicaraguan armies. So you can picture a loose collection of 5 or 6 different groups that all banded together. And this is just my understanding.
This is deep.
So now we're into 1979. Okay. We got Norman Meneses, who we just talked about, but we have another figure who's coming in who's really, 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 this guy is interesting. His name is Danilo Blandon. Okay. He would become later Los Angeles' biggest cocaine trafficker. Okay. Like, seriously. Now, for everybody who doesn't know this name, Danilo Blandon, later on, he turned out to be an FBI and CIA and DEA informant. He was actually working with them while doing this. So really what we're establishing here is that this person's working supposedly with the CIA and the DEA, but they're allowing him to bring cocaine into Los Angeles. The greater question is, why?
So you're saying that these people were allowed to bring the stuff right into Los Angeles and do what they will with it?
Correct.
All right,
that is correct.
You're going somewhere with this, and I'm waiting to hear it.
Yeah. So early on, throughout the late 70s, cocaine is gaining an influence. Now, most people look at cocaine as a rich person's drug. Excuse me, I'm going to cough for a second. So it's a rich person's drug. The normal people that lived, in the poor or the middle range, they couldn't afford this drug. So other people came in later to solve the need. So we got in July of 1979, the International Cocaine Conference opens in Lima. North American scientists get the first look at smoking cocaine. That was a whole craze in Peru. So they would make a paste and then they would smoke the pasty stuff. And it was much like crack. So that's probably when we start seeing the first emergence of a hybrid cocaine to moving towards crack cocaine is roughly late 79. July 17th, Nicaragua falls to the Sandinista rebels. Okay. So a bunch of people, the dictator, Anastasio Simones or something like that, and about 100 other people were airlifted to Homestead Air Force Base in Florida. So we actually went in and got these people and pulled them out. Okay.
That's crazy.
2 days later, Congress convenes cocaine hearings and receives the first warning of the upcoming cocaine smoking epidemic. This is 1979, people. December, so the end of 1979, Freeway Ricky Ross, who's a teenager at this time, sees his first crack rock. Talking 1979. This is how many years ago? 40. 1980, probably midsummer, Nicaraguan Coast Guard Colonel Enriquez Bermudez, he goes on to the CIA payroll and heads to Guatemala to take over command of the Legion of September 15th. That's a violent gang of ex-guardsmen and mercenaries, and they were the forerunners for the Contras. Now remember, Contras, think of rebel group with RPGs, AKs, things over their head, disappearing out of the jungles, a lot of conflict, right? We're talking guerrilla campaign. Moving forward to September of that year, Anastasio Simones, he was assassinated. Okay. October, small groups of pro-Contras meet in Miami in the United States to form the UDN FARN Contra Army. They buy some weapons and radio equipment from us. Now we start getting into where the stuff really gets hairy, because now I'm going to start talking about some political figures. And before I do this, I want to thank the CEA, the DEA, or the CIA, the DEA, for being punctual and on time to this show tonight.
That they are, yeah.
November 4th, 1980, Ronald Reagan is elected president. Now, Ronald Reagan was a movie star that came out of California. Why is this important? Because right now in California and in Hollywood, we see a lot of movie stars telling us how to think, act, and breathe. They push their lifestyle on us. Here, we had one of their own get elected in. Okay, so this is November 4th. March, Reagan signs Finding. And Finding basically is a...
Wow.
He wants to...
Guys, they, you just said that. Okay, never mind. You guys should see the on-screen back again. Something's getting weird over here. Okay. God dang it, man.
Yeah.
Got no X-42, man.
Bro, we're 4 years into this story right now.
On,
you know what I mean?
Boy Crypto's channel, the screen went dark. It's
Yep.
just off.
Just
cut out.
Demonetized.
Right as you said, DEA.
God dang it, man. My brothers listening, this is what I did with. We're on the battlefronts, taking on America.
So do we want to roll over to another channel?
It's back now.
Oh, it's back. Yeah, we're back now. I got it back. Man, that was funny.
Right. Thanks for being punctual.
Yeah.
They have made their arrival.
They let us know of their presence, that's for sure. I was like, wow, that's right on time.
I can't get views, but hey, I guess we can always get the attention of the good old DEA and the CIA. Our wonderful federal brethren. Come on with it.
So remember, we just got a bunch of people out of Nicaragua because of the Sandinista army taking over. So now here Ronald Reagan is basically signing orders to start destabilizing the Nicaraguan government. So now the CIA gears up for covert actions. Mid-year, Ricky Ross. And by the way, if you guys could go to Twitter, and Ricky Ross is on Twitter, just go give him a shout out and saying, hey man, right now someone's talking about you. And, just drop that out there.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So Ricky Ross and his friend.
What's the actual Twitter?
It's just go search for Twitter Freeway Ricky Ross, and you will find it.
It might be the real Freeway Ricky Ross. I can't remember.
It is.
Yeah.
That's who we're talking about. I'll put it into the Zoom for you guys here to put it right in the chat box. So this is his Twitter account right there. That's who we're talking about. So,
okay, I'm gonna send a tweet out. Everybody retweet it. I'll put it in the chat.
So we're back in 1981-ish. So Ricky Ross and his friend Ollie O'Neill begin selling small amounts of powder cocaine in South Central LA. They got that from a teacher, evidently. Yeah. Educational facilities giving out cocaine to people. Not giving it out, probably selling it, but August 10th, at the CIA's behest, the UDN and the FARN and the Legion of September 15th, they formed the FDN, and they moved their base of operations to Honduras. Flash forward to almost the end of the year, we got November 23rd. Ronald Reagan signs NSDD number 17, authorizing the CIA to spend $19.95 million to set up the Contras. December, the FDN begins setting up support committees in various U.S. cities, including Los Angeles, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Houston, and Miami. Later that December, Blandón and Meneses start the Contra Revolution in California. They meet with Bermudez in Honduras to figure out how to raise money for the Contras. On return to the United States, Blandón picks up 2 kilos of coke in San Francisco.